Welcome back to Urban Traditionalists. It is the morning right now, well, I've been up since 6, but it's now 7, and we are getting ready to pickle jalapeno peppers. I'll show you my setup so you kind of know where we're at. I put all my jars, lids, and bands in the oven to sterilize. The lids themselves are in boiling water, and then the jars and the rims are just sitting in the oven sterilizing at 220 degrees. And we'll pull them out when we're ready. The reason I do 220 is that's the temperature water boils at, so you don't get the temperature shock going from your counter to the water bath. A lot of people don't like canning because their cans explode or crack, and that's really just a temperature difference. So if you want to avoid that temperature difference, just preheat your oven to 220, put all of your jars, lids, and bands in the oven to heat up, and then that way you're not at risk of temperature shock. I have my brine going here. This is a 50-50 water and white vinegar solution. And then we've also got salt, garlic, and sugar in here. I did back off on the sugar a little bit. This is not my recipe, so I probably won't be sharing it just because I don't want to steal anyone's rights. But, you know, brines for pickling jalapenos are super easy to find on the internet, so just take a look and pick which one you like. But this is a 50-50 water vinegar, and then there's some salt, garlic, and sugar in here. Obviously, we got our water bath counter going, trying to get that up to heat. My oven actually heats up super, super fast, and I find this is always ready before whatever is in here, whether it be jam or brine or anything. And then we've got our jalapenos over here. Obviously, we've got the gloves ready because these are going to be spicy. And I have about 10 pounds of jalapenos. I have green here. Let's bring it up close because it's so pretty. And then I actually have red jalapenos that I'm going to be doing as well. So I'm going to do all the greens first, and then I'll do the red. I probably only have enough red for maybe a jar or two, but I kind of wanted to do it just because I thought it would look pretty, but I don't want to mix them in case they color bleed. So we're going to do all the green jalapenos first. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to chop them up into little circles. I'm going to opt for the circles instead of the strips, and then we're going to put all those jalapeno slices in the brine, and they're going to stay in this brine until they kind of lose their coloring a little bit. So they're nice bright green now, they're going to fade out, and then once they lose that coloring, then we'll scoop them out, fill the jars, and then take this exact brine and top up the jars, and then we'll water bath can for 10 minutes. So we have a lot of spicy chopping ahead of us, and here we go. Okay, here they are, all chopped up. Don't those look amazing? Ah, they look so good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put it in our brine, and then again, the point is just to simmer them until they start decoloring. We're not like cooking them, we're not boiling them, we're not processing them necessarily in this brine. We're just saturating them in the brine. We'll get it all saturated, we'll get it going, and see where we end up. I definitely am going to have too much brine in here, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull some out, and we'll use what I pull out to fill the jars, and then whatever is in here we'll use to saturate. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to let this sit in here for a little bit, and we'll catch up with you when we fill the jars. Alright, I've pulled some brine out in a separate pot, which is what we're going to use to fill the jars. I just wanted to show you, I have so many seeds. Ooh, it's getting spicy in here. So many seeds stuck to this bowl, and I actually did want to try to seed save from these peppers. So I'm going to pop all of these onto a paper towel. When you save pepper seeds, it's the easiest of all the seeds. I haven't done this a lot, I'm just getting into it this year. You essentially just leave them on a paper towel to dry for 2 weeks, and then you seal them up in an airtight container. We did buy some little Mylar bags at Ziploc, and so that's what I've been using to save my seeds in. But it perfectly coated my bowl in a bunch of seeds, so I'm going to save these and we'll plant them in the spring and see if we can't grow our own peppers from these guys who are now brining. Okay, we are definitely reaching the discoloration of the peppers. They're getting a little bit darker and just more muted. So I do buy pickled jalapenos a lot, which is why I wanted to do this. And they are starting to look more of that like kind of store-bought jalapeno. So I'm going to start filling my jars and see where we get to. I think I've got about 10 pounds of jalapenos here. I actually did pick them myself at my local farm, and I'm not too good on knowing exact weight in the moment. So I think I've got about 10 pounds here. I really have no idea how many jars that will fill. We're just kind of taking it So spicy. A little bit at a time, learning something new. I've got my brine in the back here. We're gonna leave about a 1-inch headspace on the jalapenos and about a 1/2-inch headspace on the brine. You do want to make sure your food is fully covered with the brine. Okay, I've got my red jalapenos now in the brine. I don't know why filling the jars always seems to be this really hectic process, but filling the jars was a little bit hectic. I only have 7 jars filled of the green jalapenos and I want a full canner. I can fit 9 of these in my canner, so I have my currently filled jars in the oven. This is actually another reason why I love using the oven, because you can keep your jars warm and prepped and ready while you're waiting for the next batch. Oh, it is getting so spicy in here. So those are kind of my tips and tricks. Definitely use the oven to sanitize, as well as hold your jars in a nice hot temperature so that they're ready for the canner. So we're going to wait for these to decolor a little bit, and then we'll fill the jars with the red ones. I do have half a green jar here kind of waiting. I'm hoping to get 2.5 jars out of this, so 2 can go in the canner, 1 can go in the fridge, and then we are almost ready to rock and roll in the water bath. Whew, I don't know if the red ones are just spicier or what is up here, but these are making me cough like crazy. I have to open the windows in the kitchen, turn on the fan. I'm assuming these are going to be packed with flavor because they are just attacking me. Okay. You never really want to put your jars in a canner that's like rockingly boiling, so it is good to kind of let the canner settle down a bit before you put your jars in. Okay. Let's get this going. Last one. Perfect. We are 10 minutes on the clock for that guy, and now the fun part. Now I have to clean up. Okay, we'll catch you as soon as those are ready to go. All right, that's 10 minutes in the water bath canner. I was coughing the whole time I was cleaning up. It was so spicy in here. I'm still coughing. Definite tips. Make sure you have a fan going. Make sure you have all your windows open. Get the place aired out. I love jalapenos, but apparently my sinuses do not. So let's pull these guys out. So in the end, we did get 10 jars, which is a fantastic number. A lot of people do ask me when they see my pantry, like, how long does it take you to eat all this? Do you actually eat all this? Like, this is a lot of food. And kind of what I say to people is like, ooh, look at that red one. That looks fantastic. What I say to people is like, well, if you were to buy your year's worth of salsa all at once, that would be a lot of food. That would look like a lot. So what I try and do when I can is make enough to last until the next harvest season, which actually is the whole point of preservation, right? You're trying to preserve your garden to last until your next garden is producing. So that's what I try and do. Even though I didn't grow all these jalapenos, I try to make enough to last until the next time I can buy them. Typically what I do is a jar a month. So, oh, there's another red one. The red ones look so good. It's a jar a month. So I try to do anywhere from 12 to 20 jars of salsa actually, because depending on what we're eating, we can go through 2 jars of salsa in a month. And I do try to take a mental log of like, okay, we started with this amount. It's now June. We have 1 left. I should maybe make a couple more next time I do it or what have you. So with the jalapenos, it's mainly me who eats them. My husband eats them a little bit, but it's definitely me who eats them the most. I put them on everything. I literally do. And everything from pizza to like breakfast, whether it be an omelet or a hash, anything like that. We do chop them up. We put them on nachos. I even was putting them on like my sandwiches. Obviously hamburgers is a big one. I was starting to put them on like smokies, like literally everything. And this was, it's still spicy. This is the jar I was buying, and this was about $4 to $5 depending. and I could go through that in less than a month easy. So that was kind of what I had in mind when I wanted to do these. So now I've got 10, which I'm hoping will last the whole year. We'll see. I might run short. That's fine. But that's that's kind of my canning math, if you will. This is the one that did not go in the canner, and I'm going to pop it in the fridge, and I love the two-tone of that. It looks amazing. I would actually be tempted to do them all like that just for how pretty it looks. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. 10 jars in total. I think I picked about 10 pounds. I don't really know. It could have been closer to 8. I have no idea. I picked a bag full. So that's kind of what we got in the end. I'm really happy that it turned out to be 10 exactly, just because, you know, my OCD loves that. And yeah, 10 minutes in the canner and we're good to go. So hope you learned something. Tell me something if I missed something. I want to learn things. And I guess we'll see you next time we cough our brains out canning.